Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show 2. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get the show started.
Jack and Jill here.
Hey.
Welcome to the show today. In this episode, Jill and I talk about Millionaire. You know, it's Millionaire Week. How to define or defining your next goal, and how much is enough? When do you stop? Do you ever stop? Before we get into this, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Yep. I think I'm going to stop tomorrow. Just wanted to share that. I think I picked a day and it's tomorrow.
Jill, please don't. Can you please give me 2 weeks notice? Like everybody else?
Yeah, no, sorry.
It turns out we actually need you here. Like all of us. The thing's getting huge.
Jack, I'm tired. I think tomorrow's good. I think this is enough.
You're welcome to take weeks or months off if you like, but we just can't stop.
Oh, come on.
Imagine? Oh my
You got
gosh.
this.
Can you imagine if we just stopped?
That would be funny.
How many people would be like,
Do you know what, Jack?
not this show, but like our members?
You and I
They
have
would be like,
been
what do you mean you stopped?
away from our team. Well, you did 4 days. I did 5 days where I was not in the office.
I mean our members,
Well, I'm just
not our employees.
Well,
They'll
even
be
that.
fine.
Well, I don't even know if taking 5. I feel guilty. I feel like they're. I don't know if they're doing well or not doing well. They're not telling me anything, but I'm feeling a little guilty, like they need us. So it is hard to stop.
That's ovary related. I don't have any of that.
You're so silly. All right, Peter asks, when offering in high demand areas, how do you deal with a seller's market where sellers hold out for higher prices?
So I'm going to infer a bunch of stuff here, like a high demand area. Do you think that's like an urban area, Joe? Or do you think it's like an area that's received offers from multiple people?
I
How do you
think
read into it?
high demand to me is not a lot of properties, higher prices right now.
like a seller's market.
Yes.
Yeah, like in a subdivision.
Bingo.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with the seller's market? Oh, a seller's market. He said it right there.
Yeah.
Where sellers hold out for higher prices.
Yes.
Well, there's no science to that, but I'll tell you what I would do: send more mail out.
Yeah.
And I would take that high demand area, and I picture looking at a map, and you can sit there and kind of a paper map, and draw the boundaries on where the high demand area is, because I can almost guarantee you you're going to go a little further out of those boundaries, and there's going to be a lesser of a demand area, and then an even lesser demand area, and I would work those areas at the same time.
Isn't that funny?
But it all boils down to sending more mail out, not to the same people, all right? Just more people,
Yeah.
more sellers.
You can make it work. I mean, it's up to you.
That's one of the differences between you and I, and it's a really healthy difference, is that you really want to make deals work, and I just don't care. I will just send more letters out.
Jill,
Good.
you
You
want
wanna
to
sell
help
the
our
property?
children, and I just don't care. Oh boy. Yeah, it's funny. Hey, I
just like you
got
said-
him here. That's it,
Just
man.
like you said about the employees.
Figure it out.
I don't know what.
No, I mean, so here's my thoughts. You could do two things. Like Jack's is kind of like, so go to a little bit different area. If it's a seller's market right here in this APN scheme, and the 101 APN scheme, move to the 102 and the 103 area. It's right next door, and you can do just fine. And it's still going to be a hot market. Someone has to drive 2 more miles, and they'll probably do that. Is that kind of what you're saying, Jack?
Here's a story. Jill had a photo shoot yesterday, and the makeup person that did her makeup, said, wait a minute, what do you guys do? We do this. We send a bunch of letters out. We buy a bunch of houses. We buy a bunch of land. And she's like, I saved up enough money to buy a rental house for cash, and I went in, and so there's a property on the MLS, and I bought it. I submitted an offer, and it was a multiple offer situation. It was an auction. Mm-hmm. And she said my offer was for less, but it was for cash.
And there was up against some investors that were not doing cash.
And she bought it.
Uh-huh.
They said ultimately they gave it to her just because it was a cash deal. So it's not just, if you're in a place where it's a seller's market, make yourself stand out. Make something different about, like waive the contingencies, or
Jack, you're coming over to my side. Making it work.
Making it work.
Yeah. That's
There's
exactly
nothing
it.
that's cash is king. We've all heard that a million times.
Let me run this by
And
you
it's
too.
true.
Well, here's a thought, Peter, because let's just say, so it's a buyer's market, right? So properties are getting, or seller's market. So properties are obviously getting snatched up quickly, right? So what if you offer a little more and you take a little less, but it sells in days, not weeks or months? Well, I like that too. Maybe, I would not have problem being in a seller's market where I'm like, you know what? I offered a couple $1,000s more, but oh my gosh, it sold so darn fast. And I offered $2,000 more and I made $2,000 less. But so what? I cleared $25,000 in 2 hours. I'm good with that.
And I didn't have to clean out the basement.
Right. I did nothing to the property.
That's a huge thing. So when you waive contingencies, like if you ever talk to a realtor, they all say, you're going to waive contingencies. What if there's mold? Do they all go to a mold class?
Apparently. And it needs a new roof.
What if it needs, I'm paying half of what the property's worth. I really
can
don't
take
care.
care of
And
that.
they just don't, they look at you cross-eyed like, this is what they really think they think. You're disrespecting the system.
I'm good with that.
You're bucking the way that we've been doing this for a lot of years. You have no respect. You need to get the inspector in here. You have to satisfy your lender. Can you feel my middle finger going up on that?
Yeah. Well,
that's what I think of that.
Well, you know what's interesting? I hear you. I think that even before they get to that point, I get people that don't even know this is even possible.
That's right.
Which is to me amazing. It's like someone believing that the only right legal way to buy a car is to go through a dealer. Don't ever buy a car off Craigslist. That's illegal. You can't do that. Well, we all know that's not true. So people look at property that way, and I go, what the heck? It's the same thing.
Like milk is good for you.
Yeah.
Governments and huge companies have spent a tremendous billions and billions of dollars in media time and sending messages falsely.
Right.
So this is not a show about conspiracy. It's not. Trust me, though, milk is not good for you. It's good for cows.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to buy a car from a dealer. It's not the best thing to do.
Right.
And you don't need to buy a house from a real estate agent.
Exactly.
Fastest way this is Millionaire Week. Fastest way to get to $1 million or 10 million or 50 million is to really rethink these things that we've all been taught for quite some time. Here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
And the makeup girl brought this up yesterday. You should get a mortgage because it's good for your tax situation.
Yeah. She did say
that cracks me up as a former accounting professional.
Well, you know what? I was proud of her because she said she figured that out.
$300,000 or $400,000 house, you're going to save like, I don't know, $800.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, is it a better tax situation? Yes. But here's how to cut to the chase so you're going to dramatically reduce your taxes forever. Start a company and start running money through it. And I don't mean illegally. I mean buying and selling real estate, buying and selling lollipops. I don't care. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ways that you can dramatically reduce your taxes over just a W-2 paycheck situation. That's where owning a house potentially can help you. You know, the whole world wants you to get married. Now you get a marriage deduction.
Right. Have kids.
File jointly.
Oh yeah.
Now you're head of the household.
Right.
And what do you save? Like $1,200.
Well, you have kids. There's some money there. You get some
Head of the
tax
household.
credits there.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, and your mother-in-law moves in. There's another mouth to feed. You get some credits there. Oh, we got a mortgage.
So
don't forget the student loans. Don't forget the student loans.
Congratulations. You're up to your neck. And you're hocked up in debt.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go to work, so you can't be out on the street committing a crime.
What the heck?
Yeah. So now you're a citizen. You're a perfect model person in society. And,
I love it.
And that's what everybody wants. My middle finger's been up this whole time.
How did Peter's Sellers Market thing go to this place?
Peter Sellers?
No, Peter's Sellers Market, not Peter's.
Oh, I don't know.
Sellers.
Jesus. We're like 9 steps away from what we're supposed to be really
exactly.
talking about.
We have a script? What the heck? There's a show topic.
If you have a question or you'd like to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on landinvestors.com and try it again. Today's topic, define your goal and how much is it enough? I mean, is there such thing? This is what my friend Jill said recently. Is there such thing as being too thin or having too much money?
That's funny.
I can't talk about the first one, but I can tell you that too much money is a bad idea, and here's why. I don't care what anyone says to you, and this is the meat of the show. The first time you start to make a tremendous amount of money and you're checking your bank balance and you're surprising yourself that there's tons of money coming in, it's very natural to start to think the rules don't apply to you.
Sorry, I thought about you driving the other day. Actually, it was me driving the other day. Because I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, forget about it. The rules don't apply to Jill on the road.
I am so sorry. I'm sorry I didn't mean to laugh at that moment, but that just really struck me because you're right. You can get cocky really fast, and you can't do that.
You know why we do get off track on this show?
Right.
Because of you.
Oh, no. I just
Why are we
did
talking
it.
about driving?
Because I do that. When you said the rules don't apply to me, I use those exact words when I'm making an illegal U-turn. And every child has said, what was that? And I'm like, oh, I'm exempt. I learned that from my dad. So
whenever I meet people that don't know Jill, that have been friends with me, and then they meet Jill, this is how I introduce her. This is my friend Jill, and I'm the actual voice of reason in this relationship, and they all say the same thing. Oh my God, you're doomed. Because both of us are no stranger to paving our own way.
Oh gosh.
Let's put it that way.
And then I think the next question is, how are you both not in jail somewhere, like in Mexico? Because
That's
right?
actually a pretty good question.
Exactly. Because then it's like, just don't get caught. Just teasing.
So how much is enough, Jill?
So,
Is there a dollar amount? Is it a lifestyle that you're shooting for? What is it? Because I know what it is for me, and I know what my next goal is.
gosh, do I have a limit? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I mean, do you have like a number in mind that you're like, okay, that's it. I'm putting my 2 weeks in. How much is enough?
When I can't do it anymore, then it's enough. When I really physically can't do it, I'll stop. Because
Me too.
And you and I talked about that the other day, and we're as long as we're have our wits about us, what if I can't do this and I'm just tired or something? I'm still going to be doing something. I'm going to be writing more books, or I'll be doing something like that. I can't imagine stopping. Can you, Jack? What's for you?
No, I mean, so what ends up happening, and I learned this from accounting, is you start to put, we're long past this, but you put stuff in buckets. You have a savings bucket, you have a play money bucket, you have assets that are not liquid bucket, like classic cars. You make sure the kids' college funds are all where they need to be, or overfunded, let's say. You have a legacy bucket, so you make sure the kids have enough, that you're leaving your kids something.
Right.
All this happens after you have no debt. So, that, and I have numbers associated with each of those buckets, but I'll tell you the truth, they change.
Mm-hmm.
So do I sit around and say in 24 months, if this bucket's got X and this bucket's got Y, and I'm real clear, it changes.
Yeah.
There's always a bigger boat you can buy. Always.
But should you?
I
know.
But should you go nuts about it? I don't know. There's a lot of psychological theories about that, about where you set your buckets is, where you're going to go.
Right.
Like, I do not have any interest in, I'll use boat analogies here, any interest in having a 500-foot mega yacht. I mean, ever.
Do you know what's funny about that? So here's the thing.
But about 120-foot one doesn't. That's going to happen.
Or when you're right, when you're hitting. So here's what I've noticed. When there's things that you want, and I understand that. A lot of people have different things. They're like, I want to own this. I've always wanted X, and then you get there, and then it's like, I changed my mind. It's not that important.
That's what this week's about. This whole week is we're going to use your Karma Gia.
I was just going to bring that exactly.
Go ahead and tell the story.
Yeah. So
this whole week is about taking the mystery out of having a ton of money.
And
that's what this is about.
Exactly. And what to expect, because you're on your way. I hope you're on your way. Or you're there, and you're either there and you can relate with this, or you're on your way, and I hope you are, or you're just really bored. Just kidding. I'm just joking. So anyway.
There's a good chance of that.
Yeah, that's true. So
you're not alone. You're not alone in your boredom.
Yes.
There's 4 or 5 other people listening to this right now.
Yes.
They're just as bored.
Yes.
They can't reach the knob.
Yes. Okay, so here's the story. Right before my birthday's in July 5th, as a matter of fact. So, right before my birthday, I saw this really cute white Carmen Ghia with a black top right by our office, and I hadn't seen it before. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I felt compelled to leave a note on the person's car going, if you are any way interested in selling this car, call me. And a couple hours later, I got a text message, which was really nice, saying, thank you so much. I really appreciate you're not the first one that's done this. I'm like, I'm sure. And yeah, I love this car, and I'm not, interested in selling. I'm like, oh, all right, I get it. Well, if you change your mind, let me know. He's like, yeah, I know. And there's a few things I'm going to do to it. I love this car too. So I explained this story to Jack. So Jack, bless his heart, looking for a birthday present for me, gets on it and starts finding cars around, neighboring states, where you could go get me a Carmen Ghia.
Convertible.
And even better. I mean, in better shape.
Late 60s,
a little more money.
Real specific color.
But just ready to go.
Less than $5,000.
Right. And I'm like, and about to pull the trigger.
I checked all the boxes.
He did. And he almost pulled it. You really were, you had calls into people that it was about to happen. And it was on my birthday that you said, all right, I got to tell you, here's what's coming. And I think you just had one more time run it by me. And I said, oh my gosh, that's so great. And I can I think about it? Remember? And I spent the day. I'm like, you know what, sweetheart? I kind of changed my mind. It could be a project. I really have enough on my plate right now.
And we have enough cars.
I got a little excited. I got a little emotional. I'm a girl. We do that, and then when I really thought about it, I said, you know what? Okay, I appreciate. I felt bad because you put so much work into it. You were really trying to make me happy, and it was so sweet. I'm like,
that's like a vacation for me, looking for a classic car.
Okay, thank you. And you had friends of ours lined up to go pull the trigger and help and get it here and ship it. And I'm like, yeah.
To finish the story, we ended up in a jewelry store.
Yeah, that's true.
Overpaying for diamond rings and stuff, which is fine.
But you and
you were smiling the whole time.
I was.
That's all that matters.
Thank you. But the point was, that's you think you want it, and then you're right there staring at it, and you go, you know what? I don't want it after all.
So all the stuff that you build up in your head could be lifelong build-up, like having a ton of money, or having children, or getting married. And I'm not joking about this. Those are the top three, in my opinion. After talking to a lot of people and doing research for this book that I'm writing, they are massive. They are never what you expect. They are never ever what you expect. They have, just like everything else, they have really awesome highs and awesome lows. But it's just like everything else. It's just, if you line up 3 products that you bought, you watch 3 commercials, you go to the store, you buy them. One of them works, the other 2, one of them probably fails. That's what having a ton of money is like. What you hear these stories about these athletes when they're really young, when they're in their 20s, early 20s. Blowing through money because they have this thing built in their head, or I don't know where they learn it, probably television, that, if your paycheck's $80,000, you spend $90,000.
What I honestly think, I was just thinking about this, is I think they go a little crazy. I think some people,
I would have gone crazy at that age.
They don't know how to handle it,
Absolutely.
And we've all seen, especially like those, teen pop stars, for, I don't know what the new term is for it. I just, I sound old now, but if I was on the Disney Channel and I went from being a nobody in 4th grade to being a mega star in 10th grade, I might go a little nuts too, and that's hard to handle.
Will Smith had a hit record in high school, and he filed bankruptcy 2 years later.
All right.
And then he's in trouble with the IRS. So he created an acting career. Literally, he created an acting career on the Fresh.
Is that where the French was
to pay the IRS?
Dig himself out.
Yeah.
That's good.
So people go nuts.
What was his hit song? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
That's so funny. So yeah, but so how much is enough? Only you can decide.
And it moves a little bit, but you should back to my boat example before we talked about Carmen Ghias. There's a pretty wide variance between a 500-foot yacht and a 100-foot yacht. So but stay in the neighborhood is what I'm saying. don't veer from it too far.
It's okay to want some things and have them, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
As long as you're giving back, like we talked about yesterday, and some other stuff's going on.
Yeah. Don't skip the kids' college education to buy a Bentley.
Have a goal. Have goals. It's imperative.
Yeah.
You should sit. If you don't have goals, or even if you do, get out the pad of paper as often as you can. Even, and hopefully with your spouse, and say,
definitely with your spouse.
This is our next goal. All kidding aside, this is our next goal. Does this meet? Is this your goal too? And if she says or he says, heck no, I just want to go to Japan, then you might have a problem.
Maybe you can do both.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me back. I want to add, this is one thing that you and I do, and I think it's important in this situation. You ask me, tell me what you really, really want, and we talk about that. We both share what we really, really want to make sure
how to get it. And let's take the few steps.
We're not discounting the other person's, dreams or goals or whatever. Because you're in this together.
Exactly.
So thank you, Jack.
Join us in the next episode where we discuss Millionaire and how to stay on top.
And we answer Heather's question about testing counties for new investors.
Excellent. Testing counties. I love it.
Yes.
We don't talk about that enough.
This will be good.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Good show, Jill.
Thank you.
Funny stories.
I know, that was good. I think I like that story time with Jack and Jill. We haven't done that in a while.
Really, it's story time with Jill.
Thanks. Hey, you like our show? Please subscribe and rate us on iTunes or wherever you are listening.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the
Cash Flow from Land Show. We are the experts at acquiring property
of all kinds, not just land.
for half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.